Okay, this is English 201, week 14, part 10, and this is the final video of the semester, which is amazing. I just gonna read another poem because I feel like it. I don't care. I can do whatever I want on the what are you gonna how are you gonna stop me? You can't. I guess you could stop playing the video, but you can't stop me. All right, one more poem just for fun. This is a poem by Mark Strand. The poem is called Eating Poetry. Ink runs from the corners of my mouth. There is no happiness like mine. I have been eating poetry. The librarian does not believe what she sees. Her eyes are sad, and she walks with her hands in her dress. The poems are gone. The light is dim. The dogs are on the basement stairs and coming up. Their eyeballs roll. Their blonde legs burn like brush. The poor librarian begins to stamp her feet and weep. She does not understand. When I get on my knees and lick her hand, she screams. I am a new man. I snarl at her and bark. I romp with joy in the bookish dark. That's a cool poem. I don't know. It's fucking cool. Mark Strand's cool. I don't know. I have nothing to say about that. I just want to point it out as another poem that like we don't have to you don't have to spend the rest of your life figuring it out. It's not the Phoenix and the Turtle. It's just like a cool fucking poem. There's some biblical precedent for the idea of eating poetry. There's a part of the Bible where God has one of the prophets eat a scroll, and it's about like taking something external, the Word of God, and putting it in here and making it part of you. And there's something that he's doing that with poetry, and and the idea that reading and words can transform you, and he's transformed and given power and energy, but it's like a dangerous kind of energy, which is why he turns into like a scary dog. And that like, the keepers of knowledge, like the librarian, are, whoa, this is too much. Anyway, it's simple. I don't have a ton to say. That's my whole point. I don't have anything to say about it, and that's my point. That's what I want to say is I don't have anything to say about it. Okay, I mentioned earlier in this video, I think, I can't even remember what I did anymore, but I mentioned earlier in this video that sometimes when I teach my classes, I think students often miss the point, which is fine because it's school and I get it. And my class is not like other people's classes, and it's very easy to miss the point. I think a lot of students feel that my point in this class, and this is in all my classes, but my students in this class often think that the point of the class is you should like Shakespeare, you should like Kafka. That's not my point. That's not my point. It seems like that would be my point because this seems like a Kafka class. It seems like a Shakespeare class, but that's not what I'm doing. Um, so what is my point? Well, one of my points was metaphor, irony, and theme. Summary, but you kind of knew how to do that already. But advanced summary plus metaphor, irony, and theme, use these tools to understand stories in your life. And then that includes understanding that there's somebody making this thing and there's an audience that gets something out of it. And don't forget about that bit. But I kind of want to close by looking at a little comic strip. It's a 9-panel comic strip. It's going to take us 2 seconds to read. It's very simple. It's very short. And I actually believe that it contains the meaning of life. And so I would like to give you, before we leave for this semester, the meaning of life. Isn't that exciting? You go to school and they make you do all this shit and you got to learn algorithms or what the fuck from teachers. But now, this is it. I'm going to literally tell you what the meaning of life is right now. Have you ever wondered? Because you're going to find out what the meaning of life is, in my opinion. This is what I think the meaning of life is. And so I'm going to give it to you here. And it's a little comic book by a guy named Grant Snyder. It's called The Secret. Not to be confused with the weird new age secret thing where you put good vibes into the universe and the universe rewards you. I'm not doing that. That's like a vague religious-y kind of thing where they deleted God and replaced it with wishes. I don't know. I'm not doing that. Anyway, this is called The Secret. It has nothing to do with the mystical secret. It's not the secret of life that I'm going to tell you is not mystical. Okay, you ready for this? You're going to find out the meaning of life right now. Are you excited? This is it. Okay, here we go. The Secret. I've set out to find the secret. Okay, The Secret. I've set out to find the secret of life. Everywhere I look, clues. In the last melting snow, perched on a branch, spelled out in shadows, written across the sky. They point to a secret too simple to mention. The secret is, pay attention. That's it. That's what I'm giving you. That's the meaning of life. I've given it to you now. I These are the Shakespeare and Kafka, and in my other classes, movies by David Lynch and his and old Hollywood movies, and also Plato and 101. These are the things I've chosen to pay attention to. And I think that gives life meaning when you pay attention. I think a lot of people you'll find go through life and they don't notice anything. They don't pay attention to anything. The whole point of metaphor and irony and theme is it gives you extra things to pay attention to. There's more to stories than most people think they are, and you are now in possession of that more. Because of metaphor, irony, and theme, you are going to, everybody else just notices summary, but you are going to notice more. You are going to notice metaphor and irony and theme. It is going to allow you, if you use these tools, to pay more attention to movies and artwork and all kinds of other things. You're going to get more out of it. It helps you to pay attention because it gives you a different way, a more complicated way to pay attention. Um, and so that's really the last lesson. See, in 101, I teach Plato, and in this class, I teach Shakespeare and Kafka, and I got another Shakespeare class, and then I have a class about movies that revolves around this guy named David Lynch, who makes my favorite movies. Um, and in all of those classes, students watch me demonstrate how to pay attention, because I really think that's the secret of life, because you're not going to live longer, so you better live more intensely. How are you going to live more intensely? By paying attention. Um, and see, that's what I like about that little comic, The Secret, because he's like, I'm looking for the secret of life. And he says, kind of like, I look everywhere I look, there are clues in the snow and the branch and the shadows written across the sky. But as he's doing that, he's paying attention. He's looking around. And it turns out paying attention is the secret, right? He's paying attention to find the secret, but the secret is paying attention. And Kafka and Shakespeare, and in my other classes, Plato and David Lynch, in my personal life, X-Men, are things that I've decided to pay attention to because I think that gives life meaning. My recommendation to you is not that you become obsessed with Plato or Shakespeare or Kafka or David Lynch or whatever, but that you find things that are worth paying attention to. I think metaphor, irony, and theme are going to help you pay attention to those things. Um, and that's why paper 4 for you guys is to connect something in class to something we did in class, to something you give a shit about. What do you care about? And this is why I'm always pissed off when students go Google search, what should I compare the Tempest to? Because it just, then you're not doing it. You're not connecting it to anything you care about. And that's really the last lesson. That's why it's the last paper. Because you need to kind of be able, I want you to do what I did with Shakespeare and Kafka to things you care about. Anime, telenovelas, whatever you're into, music, whatever you're into, do it. Because the secret is pay attention. I just want to help you pay attention to stuff. And that's it. I think we're done. Guys, this has been a wacky semester, and I hate teaching online, and I hate Blackboard, and I miss being in an actual classroom with real people, and this whole thing has been silly. But we did it, and if you watched all these videos, you got through it. My name is Jeff Clock, GeoffKlock. I'm on Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram and Facebook, and you can grab me on those things. I may even get on TikTok and do little mini lectures. I've been really thinking about doing it. So like 2-minute lectures on TikTok, maybe. I don't know. I might. So I'm fucking bored. So go follow. You can follow me on social media. My email address is still gonna work after this semester is over. So if you need to get a hold of me, my email address stays good. I'm gonna be employed by BMCC until they put me in a fucking coffin. I love it. I love this school. So just, stay in touch with me, and now I've given you the secret of life, so good, and turn your papers in, do paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, revise paper 1, paper 2, paper 3, make 20 substantial discussion board comments, and, write paper 4, turn it in early for a higher grade. Anyway, that's it. That's been the semester. I wish I got to know all of you better. Many of you seem like fascinating people that I really wish I could have known in person, because this whole thing is so silly. But there you have it, and that's the end. So thank you for joining me for this crazy class, and if you got that this far and you watched these videos, I'm really impressed that you managed to watch this many hours of material. Okay, have a good life.